Namamida. Namamida. Namamida.
Good morning. Today is May 14th, 2023, and a happy Mother's Day to everybody here and everybody watching at home. Welcome to New York Buddhist Church's Gotan-e service, observing the 850th year since Shinran Shonin's birth, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. We will begin today's service with quiet sitting. Please sit up straight, feet on the floor. Gently calm your mind and follow your breath. Today's sutra chant is Shoshin Nimbutsuge, Hymn of True Entrusting in the Nembutsu, page 11 to 30 for everybody here, or follow along at home. We will follow with Vandana and Tisarana. Today's reading is Jodo Shinshu no Seikatsu Shinjo, with English on page 6 and Japanese on page 5, read by Nobuko Kodama. Today's Dharma talk will be presented by Reverend Gary Shobo Jaskula. To end service, our gathas Ondok Santu and Namu Amida Butsu and Nembutsu will be sung with one voice. Then finally, our announcements and closing gasho. Namu Amida Butsu.
Kansho. Namamida. 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 Namo. We'll now do quiet sitting. So sit with your feet flat on the floor, back straight, and let's follow our breath. Zambujo is on page 8 and 9 of your books. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Gotaya service. When we do the Sambujo, the words are, we respectfully call upon Amida Tathagata to enter our place of practice, joyfully scattering flowers of welcome. We respectfully call upon Shakyamuni Tathagata to enter our place of practice, joyfully scattering flowers of welcome. We respectfully call upon the Tathagatas of the 10 directions to enter our place of practice, joyfully scattering flowers of welcome. So, the Shusho Gotaye, the founder's birthday observance gathering, this is the 850th, marking the 850th day of his birth. So we know that in Japan, many of our members and other members of other temples around the United States and the world are gathering now at the Nishihonganji, the Mother Temple. And so a lot of our members have gone, and it's a wonderful occasion for them to celebrate. So we're gathered here together at the New York Buddhist Church to celebrate the 850th birthday of Shinran Shonin, who was born on May 21st, 1173, in the village of Hino near Kyoto. At age 9, he entered the priesthood at Mount Hiei and studied there until he was 29. He left Mount Hiei in search of the truth, and he encountered the Nembutsu teaching of Honen Shonin in Kyoto. Thereafter, Shinran Shonin shared the Nembutsu teaching of the primal vow of Amida Buddha. It is due to the birth of Shinran Shonin that we are able to receive the teaching that enables us to transcend the realm of birth and death. Shinran Shonin taught that the Buddha's compassion extends to all, and that by reciting the Nembutsu with true entrusting in Amida, one may be reborn into the Pure Land regardless of their rank, class, gender, whether monk or lay person, literate or illiterate. All that is needed is trust in the power of Amida's vow to save all beings. So let us now celebrate his birthday with palms together in appreciation and gratitude. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. The sutra chant is Shoshin Nembutsuge, on page 11 through 30.
修上信行十字に難難中心難昔インド最天使論下主化自治意識こそ現代諸国聖書意妙如来本勢大き釈迦如来両河線一種公明南天寺龍樹大寺主とせ質の財派無権先絶大乗無情報召喚議事小安楽賢治難行六六信行異行指導ら億年弥陀仏本願自念即時入筆上唯の上昇如来語お大具世音天神菩薩増論説奇妙無下公如来永主たら謙信実高専王朝大聖願法有本願力栄光異道分上昇一心異入不独大崩壊一逆入大永修修特使蓮華造世界即所信用法精進有本の人間人図心所知音知おけ本師ど難両天使上皇乱小菩薩来三蔵類子十上教本上専用気楽法賢人菩薩論中継報道因果見世間方言猫ゆたり少女死因有心人惑前本部新人法承知承知即涅槃必死無 願書유임여 조도 가츠뉴 만센지비키 행건슈 엠만토쿠고 간센쇼 산부산신케 온건 소마츠호 메츠도히 이쇼조 아크지그세 시안요 가이쇼묘가 젠도도 금여부쇼이 거아이조산 여갸그악 거묘묘고 캔인넨 하이유홍간다이지가이 기어가쇼드 건것인 여기 이치는 쏘고 어이나의 독약산인 소크쇼호쇼시조라 겐신고가이지다이교 엔기 안뇨칸 이사이 센소 슈신 한센신 오켄 이도쇼벤류 거크주 아크는 유이쇼붓 가야크사이 히세슈주 번노쇼겐 스이프켄 다이히무켄 조쇼가 언시겐 금여북교 렌민센 마크본부는 신슈교쇼 고헨슈 센자쿠 홍강구 아쿠세 겐라이 쇼디윈덴게 해치기조이쇼시 서크슈랴크조무이락 히치신진 이노뉴 극교다이 지슈시 도 조사이무헨 고크조크아 도소크지슈 그도신 유이카 신시 Please continue on page 53 from Namandalu. Namandalum. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Please stand if you are able to for the Vandana Tisarana on page 7.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one.
Buddham saranam gacchami.
Buddham saranam gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Dhammam saranam gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
Sangham saranam gacchami.
I go to the Buddha for guidance.
I go to the Buddha for guidance.
I go to the Dharma for guidance.
I go to the Dharma for guidance.
I go to the Sangha for guidance.
I go to the Sangha for guidance.
Namo Kie Butsu.
Namo Kie Butsu.
Namo Kie Ho.
Namo Kie Ho.
Namo Kie So.
Namo Kie So. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Please be seated.
Today's reading is page 6, Shinshu Pledge number 2 in English, followed by Japanese on page 5. Let's read together. Entrusting in the vow of the Buddha and reciting the sacred name, I shall proceed through the journey of life with the strength and joy, revering the light of the Buddha and reflecting upon my imperfect self. I shall strive to live a life of gratitude, following the teachings of the Buddha and discerning the right path. I shall spread the true life, rejoicing in the compassion of the Buddha, respecting and aiding one another.
I shall do my best to work towards the welfare of society.
Japanese on page 5. 浄土真宗の生活信条。一つ、御仏の誓いを信じ、尊い皆を唱えつつ、強く明るく生き抜きます。一つ、御仏の光を仰ぎ、常に我が身を顧みて、感謝のうちに励みます。一つ、御仏の教えに従い、正しい道を聞き分けて、御事の実りを広めます。一つ、御仏の恵みを喜び、互いに敬い、助け合い、社会のために尽くします。
I'll be reading to you from the letters of Renyo, who is the 8th abbot of our school, a descendant of Shinran. And he sent these letters around to all the smaller temples or some like our sanghas around the country. And these letters were to clarify the teaching to everyone. And so they're often chanted in our temples now, both in English and in Japanese. So I'm going to read to you the chapter on the teaching of Shinran Shonin, both in English and in Japanese. Shinran Shonin taught that the essence of Jodo Shinshu is shinjin, or true and trusting. When we abandon various practices and take refuge in Amida with singleness of heart, our birth in the Pure Land is settled by Buddha through the inconceivable power of the primal vow. The state we thus attain is described as, with awakening of a single thought of entrusting, we join those who are in the stage of the truly settled. Recitation of the Nembutsu thereafter should be understood to be the Nembutsu as an expression of gratitude for the Tathagata's benevolence for settling our birth in the Pure Land, humbly and respectfully. Shonin ichiryu no go kanke no momuki wa shinji no motte honto serare soro. Sono yue wa moro moro no zogyo nagestete isshin ni midakimyo すれば不可思議の願に祈祷して仏の方より往生は事情せしめたも
そのくらいを一年発起入賞女子中とも釈し、その上の正念ブッダ如来我が往生定め甘いし、言法人の念仏と心べきなり、あなかしこあなかしこ。So we will now have our Dharma message today by Reverend Gary Shobo Jaskula. So we look forward to what he has to say about Shinran. Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming out on this beautiful day. Today we are observing, as you already heard, the 850th birthday of our founder, Shinran Shonin. Shinran Shonin was born actually near Kyoto, and it was on May 21st, 1173. So this is a little anticipated, and I'm sorry that we don't have our planned speaker was Reverend Ron Miyamura from Chicago, but we had technical issues getting the live stream. But we are so grateful to our tech team for getting out the live stream, even without it. It's just wonderful. So you'll get the bargain basement substitute here. So let's place our palms together. Those who deeply entrust themselves to Amida's vow of great compassion should all say Namo Amida Butsu constantly, whether they are waking or sleeping. That's from Hymns of the Dharma Ages, Shozomatsu Wasan. And I think, there are so many things we could have chosen as a text for this momentous occasion, but I believe this one really does get to the heart of what I think Shinran has left us. We have a great legacy, and it is about saying the name constantly, whether waking or sleeping. Whenever you hear of Jodo Shinshu or read about it, the thing that really distinguishes this particular group from others is Shinran's teaching of, it's called Tariki. Sometimes it's called other power. But it's also could be called power beyond self, or power beyond calculation, if you put it that way. You could put it that way. And I love to read at Gautanye a little essay that Manshi Kiyozawa wrote about 100 years ago. And it's been reprinted in December Fan, translated by Nobuo Haneda. And I'm just going to read the whole chapter. It's very short, because I think this really gets, in much better words than I could ever come up with what this means to us. And Manshi Kiyozawa says, "When I am aware of liberation through power beyond self, the way to live my life becomes clear to me. When I forget liberation through power beyond self, the way to live my life becomes uncertain. When I am aware of liberation through power beyond self, I am seldom led astray by desire. When I forget liberation through power beyond self, I am also often deluded by desire. When I am aware of liberation through power beyond self, a light brightens up whatever I do. When I forget liberation through power beyond self, darkness covers whatever I do. Ah, liberation through power beyond self, how my awareness of it frees me from this world of delusion and suffering, how it makes me enter the pure land of peace and tranquility. At this very moment, I feel myself being liberated through my awareness. If it had not been for Shinran's teaching about liberation through power beyond self, I would never have avoided confusion and despair. Thanks to his teaching, I can enjoy my life in a bright ocean filled with serene winds, even though I am in darkness filled with waves of defilement." How empty are these trivial words of my gratitude and praise before the warmth and greatness of Shinran. So that's his thought. And like, what's the difference between remembering and not remembering? Is it like, it's not like taking a pill or something like that. It's really the same circumstances, exactly the same circumstances. It's not that when he remembers, he acts this way, but when he doesn't remember, he's acting another way, and it causes him trouble. That is not what it is. It's the same. Whatever we do, whether good or bad, when we remember Tariki, when we remember power beyond self, the way is clear, the light shines. But when we forget, which is what, I don't know about you, but for me is most of the time, then we get tied up in knots and go into muddles that we can't get out of. But it's the same. It's not one way or another way, it's the same. So even if you're a great adept, if you are calculating, then you get into trouble. And this is the heart of Shinran's teaching. This is, if you read all the various writings and stuff and things like that, you get this incredible impression that this is the problem that Shinran is trying to solve. How to get beyond the calculating mind. everyone wants to live well. We all want good things. We value things that maybe, when we come to Buddhism or when we decide to live a life philosophically or whether we join another religion, we decide, well, maybe the stuff I valued isn't really all that hot anyway. It's not giving me the salvation or satisfaction that I'm looking for. And I'm thinking of things like health, wealth, and good reputation, stuff like that. And we all want those things. We all want to be healthy and wealthy and all that. We wish ourselves our happy birthdays like that. And although this is Shinran's 850th birthday, I wouldn't do that to him because he knows better. But nonetheless, we see those things as maybe not all they're cracked up to be, and then we start moving away to something else. Maybe more virtue, maybe living better, eating well, exercising every day, whatever, or just a moral transformation. And then what happens? Well, for most people, maybe not for you, but certainly for me, you hit the wall. You can only go so far, and Shinran's diagnosis, and he didn't invent this, what he did is clarified how it worked. What he did was he looked at the Buddha's teachings and the movement from the things that don't matter to the things that do matter, Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path, and all of the things that go to get that. How to restore those things and make them authentic, even when you can't breach this calculating mind, even when you can't do it. And through studying with Honen, studying the Seven Masters, he taught us another way. Taught us a way to see a power beyond our calculating power, our selfish power. Sometimes you hear of it spoken casually as self-power. Well, everything seems to be self-power. But as long as you're trying to drive, then it's self-power or calculating. Even when we're very, very, how should I put it? Very, very altruistic. We think the best. There's even Shinran, even in his own writings, does say, I'm looking to get credit. He says that in his very last Wasan, which I've read on other occasions. And this is exactly the thing that Shinran worked on, because he wants, being a Buddhist, to achieve enlightenment, to follow the Buddha, to have what the Buddha had, so that those things mean something. And the teaching that he discovered through the masters and through Honen was Amida Buddha, light and life itself, enlightenment itself. And this is called other power because it's from a source that beyond calculation. That's how I would think of it. Beyond calculation. Not necessarily another being, but the universe itself, animated, rooting for us. And Shinran really wanted you to understand that that is the case, and that it isn't, for Shinran, if you read his writings especially, he's a pretty tough guy. He's not saying, oh, you know, do the best you can, you'll be fine. That's not him. Look at him, he is very severe. He wants, unquestionably, that we should achieve enlightenment through Amida Buddha, that it's another way. And when we then, so what is the result? It's not just this doctrine, this teaching of power beyond self. It's actually the Nembutsu life that has come down to us. 850 years, this sect, more or less, has been around. And it has evolved, and you know, we often will say, well, these are Nembutsu followers, they're Nembutsu followers. Well, that's what we are, and that's what Shinran taught us to be, Nembutsu followers. It has a way of life. It's because we understand that. Even if we don't understand it intellectually, we pick up on it, we rely on it. We say, okay, I know I'll fall down, but I won't fall off the road because Amida's got me, or light and life, or the universe itself has got me. And we say, I take refuge in that. Namo Amida Butsu. And that's really, I think, the greatest gift we could possibly receive from Shinran. And in honor of Shinran's 850th birthday, that's the gift we can give to each other and to people that we meet. It isn't about, you know, stumping for Shinran or Buddha. It's about letting that understanding come out of your whole life. Come out of your whole life, that Nembutsu life. You know, because it really is about doing something, not in the sense of active or passive, that kind of thing, but in the sense of really engaging, having that confidence, letting it transform, allowing it in, let the light in. I would like to read a little passage from The Heart of the Shin Buddhist Path by Takamaro Shigaraki. And he tells a story which is not about Shinran, but Shinran would have loved this story. In the Meiji period, there lived a Shin Buddhist priest by the name of Shishiri Gojun, and he lived from 1835 to 1900. Here is one of his sayings. Wandering aimlessly over train tracks will not allow us to board the train. If we want to try to reach our destination, we should go to the train station. There, we should buy a ticket and board the train. So that's what he says. Wandering aimlessly over train tracks will not allow us to board the train. If we want to try to reach our destination, we should go to the train station. There, we should buy a ticket and board the train. Shigaraki says, this means that it does not matter how much we may learn about Buddhist theory and doctrine. If we do not encounter a real human personality, it will all amount to nothing. Shichiri compares this human personality to a train station. Only by going to the train station, by encountering a human personality and coming into contact with a definite Nembutsu history, will we finally be able to reach our destination. I think, Shigaraki says, this is a truly splendid illustration of Nembutsu history. And I think Shinran didn't have trains in his time, but I think he would have loved that analogy. Because Shinran was not, I mean, Shinran did a lot of treatises and a lot of writing, but really it was all so that you and I would actually say the Nembutsu and rely on it. By saying the Nembutsu, I don't mean the act necessarily, though I do mean it, but the actual vowels, making vowels, because Nembutsu can also be remembering the Buddha. Remembering the Buddha. That is our way. Mampo, deep listening, deep hearing. That's the Nembutsu life. That's Nembutsu history. When you come to this temple, you hear these things, and hopefully you will go home and think about it, and maybe board the train. So, and what could be a better thank you gift to Shinran Shonin than to do that today, and for his 850th birthday. So thank you, Shinran Shonin, who said to us, "Those who deeply entrust themselves to Amida's vow of great compassion should all say Namo Amida Butsu constantly, whether they are waking or sleeping. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu." So thank you very much for listening today, and happy Mother's Day for all you mothers out there. And see you next time. Tell your friends.
Will you all please stand and join us in the Gatha Ondok-san, number 2 on page 134, and Nembutsu on page 135.
Miyoko ni shite Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Please be seated. So this concludes our service for today. And I'd like to thank the greeters, greeters Nobuko Kodama and Mikio Sakai, our pianist Nobuko Kodama, and our tech team, Lily Sakai Johnson and Quan Wong. And also the flowers today on the altar were provided by our flower arrangement teacher, Junko Yamakawa. And she always does such a beautiful job for us. We're so grateful. We have, I wanted to mention, because I didn't have a chance earlier, this is Mother's Day, and I wanted to wish goodwill to all mothers, past, present, and future. Some of us don't have our mothers right now, but I do remember my mother and my grandmother, and going back. So I'm so grateful to them. And my daughter's now a mother, so it just goes on. And I think Mother's Day is just a special day for us all. We all have mothers. We all honor and are grateful to our mothers. So let's remember our mothers, even though they might not be here right now, but they are with us. So thank you. So if we have any first-timers that came today, I'd love to have you stand up and introduce yourself. Any first-timers?
Well, it's been...
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. She's coming with a...
Oh, thank you. It's been a number of years. I was here maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. But it's good to be back. And I appreciated your Dharma talk.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Mark Lichty from the Poconos.
Thank you for coming, Mark.
Hi, my name is Emma. This is my first time coming, and I'm a student at Columbia University.
Thank you for coming, Emma. Of course, we're all very grateful to Reverend Gary for his Dharma message today, just to remind us really what this teaching is all about. Upcoming events, we do have, we're going to observe Memorial Day, and we have several services that are going to be at Cypress Hills, Mount Olivet. So that's Mount Olivet is an occasion where the Japanese and Japanese American community come together, and so there will be a Buddhist and a Christian service at Mount Olivet at the Japanese cemetery. And then following that, at Cypress Hills, we have our columbarium there, and Reverend Bernard is going to be conducting a service there too. So if you're interested if you have loved ones that are buried there or interred in the columbarium, please let us know, and if you'd like to join us for that service. It's very special. It's in a beautiful location. So anything else? Any other things to announce? So thank you all for coming today. Of course, we don't exist without our Sangha, and not only those who are here present, but also those who are online. And it's just an amazing thing that we do have a huge number of people who come and view. Oh, I wanted to announce, where is it? I don't have it with me. But anyway, we have a new program that's in its second or third month.
It's called Buddha Goes to the Movies, and it's a Saturday gathering online by Zoom. And what we do is we view the movie beforehand, and then we come together and we talk about it from a Buddhist perspective. And this month we're going to be looking at Silence, which is a movie directed by Martin Scorsese. It's based on a novel by Shusaku Endo, which was about the Christian persecution in Nagasaki, I think it was in Kyushu. And it's a story about faith and perseverance. And I think for us, we want to look at it from the point of view of Buddhism. So Brian Doth, who's going to lead, you're going to lead the discussion, no, Matt is going to lead the discussion, but we do have members who help to lead the discussion, and it's really interesting to look at different kinds of film from a Buddhist perspective. So if you're interested, I have a flyer in the back, and we can give you some more information. And also, our Ikebana teacher is teaching, I believe it's first, second, and third Saturdays of each month. So as you can see, she does such a beautiful job. And if you're interested, actually Junko is here today, so if you want to talk to her, she'll give you more information. So thank you so much for coming. Happy Mother's Day to all mothers. And let's place our hands together in Gassho. In gratitude for this day where we celebrate the birth of our founder, Shinran Shonin, for all the wonderful teaching that we have, for the lessons that we learn when we come together, how we can share our Sangha together and celebrate with each other. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.